and welcome
We're recording
to
now.
Creating.
Oh my god.
I had to do it.
To be fair, Grant, you did troll us for like 2 minutes.
Yeah. That's Jack. Let's just call him Jack all episode and don't reference it ever.
Hello and welcome to CLAMPmendations weekly podcast where we discuss all things related to creating, living, and making projects. I'm your host, Grant Alexander, and joining me as always is the person who thinks he can, Adam Mackey, and the person who thought that she could, Jessy Ratfink. I don't know. You have to listen to the pre show that isn't released to understand what the fuck I'm talking about. So what's in your clamps this week, Adam?
Or just listen to the show and we'll reference it. Well, I put out my clamp challenge video.
Oh, yeah.
Finally, which is cool. So fixing the clamps for my track saw.
Mm-hmm.
Still not perfect, but
No.
I do know where I can improve. And I think I'm going to do a part 2 eventually once I actually work out how to fix it exactly. It's good because there's 2 clamps. I can fix one and then I know how to make a video around it. But yeah,
I think your cam was just a little too aggressive.
far forward. Yeah. Aggressive,
just,
yeah.
Yeah, like the cam lobe was a very aggressive lobe.
Yeah, which is very easy to fix because I just need to move it down a bit.
Or change the profile angle, if you know what I mean.
So but that would include printing another one.
Yes.
I don't want to do that.
You can print it in 10% instead of 100%?
Well, yeah.
And then, like, if it works, print it in 100.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I'm going to try around, like, moving it around and I'll probably end up just adding a cam on the other side as well. But the biggest thing is the block sliding on the rail, not the actual cam. But it locked into place, but I realized after that the whole point of a cam is that, well, with that sort of cam, is it doesn't need to go all the way. Like, the only way for it to lock into place is if you fully lock the cam the whole way, like it not just that little bit, and apply more pressure if you need to. So I do want to work on it. But it was my first time making a video with all the 3D animations and stuff, which I thought was pretty cool.
Yeah.
And
wow.
Did you guys hear that?
Yeah. That was super loud.
It was my kids screaming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Usually when podcasters are like, did you hear that? I'm like, I didn't hear anything at all. That one? Mm-hmm. I heard that
That was an epic scream.
Yeah, every time I ask you, like, do you hear my neighbor mowing or something? You always say no.
Yep.
So.
Yeah. And that was very loud. But the 3D models looked really great. The
Thank you. Thanks.
Stuff you're working on. You
so I've been
focus dummy, though.
Heaps.
That's what you need.
I need a focus dummy. Yes, I realized that. Yeah, I definitely did realize that. And I think the issue wasn't the focusing of the camera. My lens has a bit of an issue because my camera fell over one day, whereas if I don't have it all the way zoomed out or all the way zoomed in, it's not focused. I don't know why. And I think it was just adjusted that little bit and I didn't realize when I was recording.
Makes sense.
A bit annoying. But I feel like when I was editing and watching the video back, I feel like it's one of the best sort of talking to the cameras I've ever done. I felt like it felt good as opposed to normally I'm like, why are you acting like a dickhead? Yeah.
Just like, why am I acting normal? And this one you were like, I felt like I did a good job acting.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I get you.
But yeah, I've been working on Blender and stuff a lot. I put out a reel the other day, which was just me explaining what I've been doing with animation. I've gotten a little bit further, but I've spent pretty much the entire last week getting all my models and everything done for the bike and rendering. And the funny thing is that I have so much footage of working on the bike and also half of the video edited. And now that I've decided to go this way with the rendering and like the animation, I'm actually going to start from scratch and just scrap all that. Because the bike actually hasn't, like, everything's been taken off the bike to get repainted a different color. So I'm back to square one anyway So I feel like it'd be better to just re-record the video from the beginning and explain with the animation and stuff instead, rather than like go through all the bullshit and be like, oh, actually, I didn't like this color, so I'm just going to repaint it and take it all back off. I'm just going to start off with, I'm going to repaint everything and then put it all on the bike.
Yeah, there are sometimes like when a fail is like a personal choice, it's hard to explain in a video that why you're redoing everything, unless you did it in like a single second montage of like, you know what, this color sucks, but jink, 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 and like 3 frames later you're back at where you were and it's all like the new color. Then I think it would be like a kind of cool transition if you like basically didn't move the camera and just went, I don't like this color, let me undo that. Ka-chink, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
that would be cool.
Yeah, well,
but that's
I need to take the spring out to powder coat that to match the color because it's red and I don't want it to be red. So I'm thinking I'm going to record saying like I need to take the spring out so I can powder coat it, and while I'm at it, I'm going to powder coat everything else, and I'll show the process of doing the spring, but then everything else I'll just say, and I did all this too, because like no one wants to watch me powder coat every part. Nope. I only need to show the process once. And then say, all right, I've got all this. And then I have an idea, like with my animation and stuff, of how I'm going to go, here's all the parts they need to get put together. And I've done the animation for the number plate bracket so far so that little animation that I put up on my reel, if you go to my Instagram, you can see what I'm talking about. The camera then pans across to a workbench, which has a blueprint. And then the workbench zooms in on all the number plate bracket bits. They go flying off into the middle of like the air, put themselves together as the camera rotates 360 around them, and then they install themselves on the bike. So I'm going to use stuff like that to be like, okay, so I'm going to put the number plate bracket on, quickly show that animation, and then quickly show like a 1 second montage of me putting it together. And then it will just have like a shot of me putting 2 bolts into the bike and it's done.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds nice.
Yeah. Cool. Looking forward to it.
Thank you.
Jessy, what have you been up to?
I got a level with y'all. Nothing. I've been playing Dragon's Dogma 2 so much. I checked before I got on. I've been playing for 19 hours. I'm level 15. I have defeated a Minotaur and a Cyclops. I've made it to the Nameless Village. There's all sorts of shit going on.
None of this means anything at all to me.
I was going to say, I love how you say it like we should know exactly what you mean.
Of course, come on.
Like, did you defeat the leader of the X-Men?
No. And he shouldn't be the leader of the X-Men either. I hate
100% agree. That's an entire episode we could have. Also, don't think Leonardo should be the leader of the Ninja Turtles. But that's a different episode.
Yeah.
Is he?
Anyways.
Yeah. Nothing has really happened. Yeah. I'm still exactly where I was with stained glass.
Cool story, bro.
I'm going to put this out here. When this comes out, which I know we're recording a little early this week, we're recording on a Tuesday. It's going to come out on next Monday. When this comes out, you're going to have 1 month to complete the Clamp Challenge. And one of us has already done it. The person who didn't complete it last year.
I can't believe I'm first to get it out. Like,
yeah. But then there's also other people, which we'll talk about Clamp Challenge a little bit later. But Jessy, you can't be the one that doesn't do it this year.
I know.
I am reserving that for myself.
Oh, jeez. Okay. Yeah. I mean, I'm sure I'm going to feel the pressure and I'm going to freak out and I'm going to get it done. But right now, I can only think about playing as a thief and climbing up enemies and stabbing them. So, yeah.
Okay.
What about you, Grant?
Well, I have also been doing not much. I've been prioritizing play, mainly with my kids.
So is Jessy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What I'm trying to say with this is like, I looked back, I think back over my life, and I think about the amount of work I saw my dad doing around the house for building stuff for us, whatever it was, just doing stuff instead of being with us.
Mm.
And I don't want my kids to look back and think about how their dad spent all this time making them things and not all this time playing with them. Especially at the young age where like play is very important because there really isn't else much going on in their life, right?
Yeah.
So I've kind of like taken a little. I'm like, this is a good time now to prioritize that because in a few years it's not going to be possible. They're going to say no. I don't want to
Yep.
be, with you.
Yep. They'll
It's
get
one
too
of the
spoiled.
it's one of the biggest struggles that I've always had since I had kids is trying to balance that whole like personal time sort of thing or doing stuff around the house, but also play with the kids and all that. Like even just simple things that need to be done, like mowing the lawn, takes so much time away from playing with my kids and stuff that I neglect it. And I've had like so many talks with my wife. Yeah, go on.
Well, I was just gonna say, like one of the biggest things that COVID had is not having to go into work. I gained like up to 2 hours a day of time I could spend with my kids.
Yeah,
because I wasn't commuting.
Yeah, well, I've had so many talks and stuff with my wife because I like to, obviously do stuff in the garage and work on the bike and all that sort of stuff. And I try to do all that stuff while the kids are at school. But because I'm doing that while the kids are at school, I'm not getting the stuff done that needs to be around the house, which is when I should be doing stuff as well. But, it's hard because I don't want to, again, like same as you, I don't want my kids to grow up thinking, oh, dad was always off doing his own thing and never really spent time with us.
But also, like, dads and parents are people too. It's hard. It's a hard balance because, like, I know I have a bunch of stuff my dad made me, and I have it today, and I treasure it, and I've handed it down to my kids, and sometimes they play with it, but wooden toys, whatever. But like, like they aren't they'll play with them every once in a while, but it's not as big of a thing as it was.
I don't want that warm wood that has someone's heart. I want this cheap plastic Chinese rubbish.
Right. Well, I think the problem is if they break the Chinese stuff, it just goes in the garbage. So they keep like they're really rough. They're little boys.
Yeah.
They're pretty rough with their stuff. So they keep breaking like the wood, and I just glue it back together. Or they break the glue joints, which is fine because 40-year-old glue is bound to break with the way kids like to play with stuff. But yeah, I don't know. So anyways, it got me thinking about like all the things that I think I can do and all of the stuff that I kind of like put on the like list of stuff I need to do and to DIY around the house. And like you were saying, like the things I need to do, either they're regular chores like cutting the lawn or like this room that I'm in, I want to turn into the laundry room and a bathroom. And turn the laundry room that is currently the laundry room into my office. And these are like things I've put on the list of things I will do. I will not hire someone to do this. It is not worth like I don't know why. I think I can do it. Therefore, I'm gonna do it one day, maybe, or not. But it's like it gets me thinking about all these things that I think about doing. And I either like putting in a bathroom in a basement is you gotta like jackhammer some concrete away to do the plumbing properly. That's not an easy task. So what am I, how am I gonna do that? But I think I can, so therefore I put it on the list and maybe I never do it.
Well, that's the thing. Like, you think you can, and you'll find a way to do it, or find a way to do it in your way. Like my wife always says, like, it's so good that I can do anything. Anything she needs me to do, I can do it. And I've said to her so many times, I don't know how to do everything, but if I don't know how to do something, I will find a way to do it. Whether that be do some research and go, okay, well, this is what I need to do. But generally, I'm like, in my head, I think I can do anything. I know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And then I go to do it and realize you don't know what you're doing. Go look up a book or something, or go watch a YouTube video these days. But
Well, even that, like just thinking you can be I think a hurdle to cross, because you can get yourself into a lot of trouble thinking you can do
definitely,
something, right?
yeah,
I know I ripped a whole wall out of my room as a 20, 22-year-old. I just decided one day I was just going to rip a hole in my house, and I ripped a wall out in between two rooms because I was renting the other rooms and I wanted to have a bigger room because I didn't want to share. By having a bigger room, yeah, I missed out on some rent, but that meant I could have like basically a living room within my room.
Mm.
And I didn't have to share the living room with the people I rented with, which I didn't really like at the time. They were just people, paying me rent. So I just did something. I didn't know whether or not I could. Like, I know this is the type of thing, like, I think I can lead into big problems, like people ripping out walls that are structural. Now, I knew this particular wall wasn't structural because I was in a row of townhouses and other people had done this exact same thing where they ripped out walls between the rooms. But it's definitely one of those things that you go, if you don't know what you're doing, you can easily screw things up.
Yeah. See, I'm not the person to jump into stuff like that, so I don't know. I think at this point, now that I actually have a little money, I'm more more apt to like ask for professional advice because yeah, I mean, when I was a lot poorer, we did everything for ourselves, but now I'm just sort of like, but do I need to? Do I need to do everything? I don't know. Probably not. Cuz I mean, right now, we're looking at moving, selling the house, and like a lot of the projects that I never finished but wanted to, I'm now thinking maybe I should rush and do it. So it's nice for the next people. And then at the same time, it's like, do you really need to do that though? I don't know.
Oh my God, my old
Oh,
house, the nicest it ever was the month like in between when I sold, like when it went on the market, and between when I moved out. Otherwise, I like it was a trash hole of a place the entire time I lived in it. Like, I'm not joking. It was like pink tubs and like garbage, and like it was a big pile of garbage house to live in. It was a
oh my
like
God.
student rental house. And in like the 3 months before I sold it, the amount of work I did to make it look real nice because I thought I could, and I did. But
I feel like that happens a lot though. Like I know a few people that have sold houses, and the real estate always says to them, "Hey, if you just put like 10 or 20 grand into doing up a couple of things that need to be repaired, you're going to make an extra 40 or 50." So like that's when everyone
right,
does their work. But
Yeah.
I can't
it's,
I can't justify the astronomical fees that professionals charge for like, yes, okay, some things of course, but for like the little things that I know that I can do, I just can't justify it.
right. But if you made twice as much money, could you?
I just don't know. I would have to be in that position to know, but I don't think that I could,
So everything
because like
comes
I
down
have
to
money. I have the money to pay people. I just like I called up a guy to run an Ethernet cable from the top floor to the bottom floor, and he wanted $600. I'm not paying $600 for you to fish a cable through a wall. Like that's insane.
right. But okay, so imagine if it took you 3 hours and you could charge your time was worth $200 an hour. Like your imagine like if you could think you're trading your time. And I know this like goes against this money thing I talked about in a previous episode, but it all comes down to value. It's like money doesn't actually drive it, it's value and how you value your stuff. But if you were to
Yeah.
trade your time with, say, your kid, because running an Ethernet cable from your roof to your basement or whatever, say it's $600, is that worth is that time worth $600 with your kids? And like $600, that's a lot of money. So I get If it
Yeah.
were to take you 3 hours or 6 hours even, you might go, you know what? I'd rather spend the 6 hours doing that because I'd rather spend the time. But if you made so much money that it didn't matter anymore, or you
True.
didn't know how to do it, or it would have taken you 10 hours or 12 hours or whatever the number, right? It gets to a point where it goes, this isn't worth my time anymore because of how much
Yeah.
time it takes, unless you get value from yourself out of doing it, which is what I think a lot of makers get, a lot of DIYers get, is the value of the challenge, solving the problems, figuring out the best way to do it, doing the research even. That is where why they get themselves into the I think I can mentality.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that, and because I think about the other things that I don't want to do or want to learn, not
Right.
learn how to do because I know how to do them, but things that I don't want to do, like cleaning the house. If I had the
Right.
money, I would definitely want to hire a cleaner
Right.
because that's going to give me more time to do other things like spend time with the kids or get stuff done in the garage. Our lawn is so small, it'd be ridiculous to pay someone to do it. But all that sort of stuff. Whereas something like fishing the wire is something I wanted to try and do myself. So I guess I make an excuse.
So this is where I look at it like cutting my hair. I cut my own. Obviously, it's just a straight shave, so it's a bzzzt with a buzzer. Like, it's pretty
No
easy.
comment.
Right. But whatever. It's the reason I could not pay someone to go bzzzt and take 10 minutes to do that, and I pay them like $50 to buzz
Yeah.
my head. You know what I mean? And it would also take more time for me to go to a place, sit in a spot, wait around, get them to go bzzzt, and then I leave. And it would take like an hour, and I can get this done with its wonderful look for a little bit less time. But so this is where that cooking food. I worked in a kitchen when I was younger, and I know how to cook. I can cook. I do not like cooking. It is something I 100% of the time when I lived on my own and I was renting out rooms and whatever, I did not cook at home ever. I went out to eat every single night because I had the money and I could. And that was one of the things I valued that. And I always think it's funny when people talk about like, oh, if people just would order less food, they'd have so much more money while they pay a plumber like $10,000 to fix a clog in their drain. I'm like, do you not see like you're just valuing certain things over it because you
Mm-hmm.
don't have that skill set or you don't
I
or
know.
you don't enjoy that using that skill set?
I know that I definitely like fast food has gotten so expensive here lately because of everything is going up in price, but so have groceries. But I do remember a point where it wasn't actually any more expensive to eat out, like
Yeah.
go to Macca's, than it was to buy the ingredients and cook myself at home. But the funny thing is, in the contrary, the amount of times my wife has said to me, do you know how much quicker it would have been for us to just cook something at home rather than go out and get the fast food and bring it back home? Because I'll say things like, oh, I really can't be bothered to cook tonight. Like, it's so much effort. Or I'll say, like, we really, like, it's almost dinner time. Like, we better hurry up. Let's just order something instead of cooking because it's going to take too long. And she's like, it took longer to do that than it did to just cook it at home.
Well, so this is, I will say, this happens a lot in my house where the thing is, I don't have the mental fortitude to deal with my kids on my, like some days, they're just like, screaming and running around and doing crazy stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm just not in the headspace to deal with both of them doing that and then fighting over every single toy the other one picks up. Right. Because this is just
Uh-huh.
their age group. It just happens, right? And I'm just like, I can't deal with this on my own right now. Let's order food. And the reason we
Yeah.
order food is then one of us isn't stuck in the kitchen. And by one of us, it's 100% every single time my wife, because I would 100% order food every single day unless it literally would financially ruin me because I just do not enjoy cooking that much. But so it allows my wife to not have to be stuck like doing the preparation and the cooking and all that stuff. And I don't want to, like, she doesn't belong in the kitchen or anything like that. That's not what I'm trying to say. But it allows her to, like, come out of the kitchen and take one of the kids, and I take the other kid, and now we can, like, play with them separately so that they're not, like, screaming at each other. And so we can have a little bit of peace without resorting to just putting them on a tablet or a phone.
Not to keep going along this tangent, but I do a very similar thing because I cook every night. And a lot of the times I love to cook like barbecue because I'm Australian and that's what we do. But it's always, hey kids, come and play out the back while I'm cooking the barbecue. Leave mum to do whatever she needs to do. Give her a minute. You've been driving her nuts all day.
Right.
You guys come out the back so I can yell at you doing the wrong thing out there while I'm cooking the barbecue rather than having to hear mum screaming at you from inside.
Right. Well, and so, yeah, but some days I'm sure you're just like, I'm just not in the mindset to deal with.
Oh, I never am, but I try to.
Well, so on the same tangent, and not entirely because obviously I don't have children, but like when COVID hit and I was overwhelmed, like, because we all thought we were going to die and it was very scary going out in public. And we started doing meal kit delivery just so it was like one less thing that I had in my brain. Because it's like, well, we have these choices. This is like it. This is what we're doing. It's this or nothing. And that was so much easier for me because, yeah, sometimes it's hard to have the bandwidth, like after a full day of whatever, to make a decision, follow through with it, and like be responsible for other people. It's a lot.
So we used to get the meal kit things as well, but the one that we got was a little bit annoying because you got like your recipes and then everything sort of separate in the box and stuff. Like they they look at the recipes and go, okay, well they need 10 potatoes, so they'll give you 10 potatoes, and then they'd give you like however many of whatever, how many of whatever, and then so each meal you would have to go through and go, I need this and I need this and I need this, which seems like such a first world problem, but it was actually so annoying. Whereas getting like a bag of this is this meal, everything you need for this meal is in this bag, everything you need for this meal is in this bag, because otherwise just give me the recipes and I'll go buy the groceries. You know what I mean? Like it kind of defeated the purpose, other than they said like you meant to save a bit of money because they send you like the half of whatever you need rather than having to buy the full thing. But like it was like my wife, she'll go to the shop and she'll buy like a kit that has everything in it for that meal, and like she's more than happy to cook that. But like that when it all comes separate and you've got to go find the ingredients out of the box and everything, it's just more annoying.
Yeah, that seems ridiculous. Thankfully, HelloFresh and Sunbasket, yeah, they do like individual bagged, like the recipes in there and everything's in there. Because, yeah, I mean, there were definitely some days where I don't know that I would have wanted to hunt down potatoes.
Yeah.
But so this is where I think, this gets into this, like, I think I can. And people get caught up in the, like, I have to do this because I can, right? I have to cook the meals. I have to do the things because I can, right? It's everything, like, I don't know. Paying someone to do something, I hate doing it. I just hate doing it. And the only reason I hate doing it is because 50% of the time I paid someone to do something, I haven't been satisfied with what I got.
Yeah.
And
in saying that, I also feel like, not that I don't know what people are doing, but I find it hard to trust people. Like,
yeah.
I will 100% service my car myself because I know what's done. I don't trust the mechanics are going to do everything they say they do on the list. Whereas if I do it myself, I know it's all checked off. I know it's done. Like the simple things like, okay, yeah, they probably changed the oil, but most of them are like, we topped up your fluids, but I want the fluids changed. I want to, like, if I do it myself, I know it's been done. You haven't just topped it up.
Yeah, I guess I can understand that because, like, I would never hire a cleaning person for that reason. Like, because, yeah, I can't really trust people and I don't really want people in my house. And I am a really good cleaner. But like the car, we have a really great shop in town where like Tyler's really comfortable with them and we don't have to worry about it, But yeah, there are definitely some things that I'm just like, no, I like doing that and I am not willing to give it up.
I can clean, and I am a good cleaner when I do. I do not clean very often because I absolutely hate it. Just like cooking, because it's like a daily task that has no end, and it doesn't. And you do it, and it's fucked up the next day. You're just like, I got to do this again,
especially with kids,
right? Or dishes, or like. But I actually like doing like deep cleans on stuff. Like every once in a while, you're like, oh, I got to really clean out the oven. I'm like, yeah, let's get in on that. And my wife hates that shit. I'm like, no, this is good.
I hate
like,
that shit.
She hates that shit because she's like, oh, you're never going to finish. It's so much work. And I'm like, yeah, but it needs to be done. Do you not see? I have to take the glass completely out because a little bit of grease got on the other side of the glass. Therefore, it needs to come out. I need to completely disassemble the entire door. This oven needs to come all the way apart. And yeah.
That is your ADHD for sure.
That's yeah, totally. But like I cannot do like if it was like if you just wipe this once a day, you'll never have to take it apart ever again. I couldn't do it. There's not a chance.
So I think that I'm good at it, but apparently I'm not. Like I'll sweep the floor and I'm like, I did what I needed to do. I swept the floor. Everything's clean. And my wife come down to go, the floor looks like shit. Did you even touch it? What the fuck are you talking about? Like, in my mind, I feel like I did a good job.
Okay.
But apparently I skim over a lot.
Probably.
Yeah, I'm sure. Look at the background.
When I do something, I do it to like this high standard that takes too much time.
I don't. Yeah.
Right? I get too involved. But I also like run out of steam usually. Like I remember one day like I spilled a little beer in my keyboard and I was like, I guess I got to clean out my keyboard, so I started popping all the keys out to clean them all individually because that's what you do, right?
God.
Right.
No.
So then I got halfway across the keyboard and I said, well, that's stupid. I shouldn't do that. And I stopped doing it. And now I have a half clean keyboard, right? Like, but now it's been so long that you can't tell which side I popped out. That's good.
You sound like my best mate to a T. So he's in trade school at the moment and he was showing me this stuff they're doing. So they're doing like metal work and stuff, welding and all that sort of stuff. And they had two pieces of metal that they had to use on the what's the machine that like goes across and makes metal flat on top? The
like
lathe
milling
thingy?
machine?
Like a milling machine, yeah. So they had to mill the pieces of wood. No, milling machine. So they had to mill the pieces flat and then they had to hand file them down so like they're smooth. Right? Okay. And he's like, so all you had to do was just make it smooth. That was it. He sat there for like, he said it was like 6 hours or something, hand filing the one side to where there was no line down the middle. Like it was like those, when like the high precision pieces of metal go together and you can't see the line. Yeah. Just that. That's all he did the whole day because he just got focused on like, I want to make this the best I can.
For no reason. On a nothing.
On a nothing.
That is definitely 100% me. On something that matters though. Oh, you need that to be that way? No, I'm sorry, I can't do that now.
Yeah, exactly.
You need it. Like this is important. This needs to be done to this level. I'm very sorry. That's not me. No, I'll get it close though.
Yeah.
Oh, this is nothing. I just at the end of this, I'm gonna throw it in the garbage. Yeah, I can stand that to 1,000 billion grit. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my God.
Yep, that's how it works.
This is making me happy that I don't have those tendencies. Like, I think I'm much more of a like ritual person. Like, I just do things every morning and every night, and like Saturday or Sunday, I do like a big clean. Like, I have like a schedule that I keep.
That sounds
so things don't
horrifying.
Get crazy.
Yeah,
it's what I like. I work from home. I'm always here. It's just like I just have expectations for the space around me and I'm always like working on those. It's just no big side quests.
I love that we're all completely different because I am the kind of person that just wants it done yesterday. Like, just do it as quick as I can. I don't care like how bad it is or whatever. Just get it done. Which is probably why the floor is shit after I sweep.
I'm only spurred by like external like things hitting me. So like one day I'll just be like, oh, there was a toy that went over under the couch. Holy shit! Look how fucking dirty it is under there. All of a sudden, I have to clean the entire floor. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Like it's like
that's my wife.
Something happened. Now all of a sudden, oh, you guys wanted to play with me? Sorry, Daddy's on an ADHD binge where he has to have everything fucking clean now.
Yeah, Tyler will do that too. Like it just something will catch his attention, and like we're supposed to be leaving the house or something, and then all of a sudden he's like knee deep in something in the house, and it's like, what?
Yep.
What is happening?
Yeah, that is 100% me, and I've learned that's a superpower you need to harness. Because when you can harness it, when that attacks you, you need to realize it, and you need to have a supportive partner who says, you need to do that now. I get it. Okay, let's see what we can do to support you with that. Because she also sees me for like a week straight lay on the couch going, "You gonna do anything?" And I'm like, well, like I don't quite have. There's only 15 minutes until I have to pick the kid up from school. You know what I mean? Like I've like. It's like when you have like an afternoon appointment, you're like, well, I guess my morning shot because can't do anything because I know I'll get like into the zone and all of a sudden unable to do anything.
Yeah. Yeah. So a couple of things. One, to show how much I just want everything done yesterday, if my wife isn't home, I leaf blow the house instead of sweeping. Just throwing that out there.
That's the wildest shit I've ever heard of.
And what was the last thing that you said, Jack?
Well, basically that, I don't know. As soon as words come out of my mouth, they're gone. They're gone forever. It's one of the problems with. So at work, I'll often say something, and people are like, "Wow, that was like inspiring." Can you just? I want to write that down. That's how good that was. Can you just repeat what you said? And I went, "There's not a chance in hell I can." You should be recording me if you really care about what I say, because as soon as it leaves my mouth,
if only we were recording this conversation.
Right.
Well, so Adam, he was talking about ADHD superpowers and the difference between that and just laying on the couch. If that is helpful.
I remember I had something to say on what you said, but I don't remember what it was now. So I don't know. It doesn't matter.
Well, you know what we should talk about now? The Clamp Challenge for 2024. So the Clamp Challenge, in case you didn't know, in case it's your first episode tuning into Clamp ever, we have launched a Clamp Challenge. It started on March 1st, and it's ending in exactly 1 month from when you're hearing this, if you hear it on the day it released. But
from when this episode comes out.
Yeah, it's ending on April 30th. So basically, you need to make a project that involves a clamp. And that could be any type of clamp. Wood clamps, spring clamps, F-clamps, track clamps, vacuum bags that are acting as clamps. Whatever you think is a clamp, explain it to us why you think it's a clamp. You just turn that clamp into something that's basically something different, either a more functional clamp, as Adam has done, or something artistic, or you just take it something plain fun, and you'll have a chance to win great prizes. Basically, the big thing, the project has to be a new project that's completed now. You can't put a project that you completed 10 years ago into the thing. To enter, all you need to do is post your project on Instagram with the hashtag Clamp Challenge and tag us at Clampcast by the 30th of April for your chance to win. The prizes include a 5575 Chapman screwdriver set, a house-made industrial spoon kit, including a swage block, an IsoTunes, anything you want from the IsoTunes collection, and a weird guy has donated a mullet. So if you want, go on over. We're going to be posting some fun
videos
in the in the coming weeks to show off these different prizes. If you want to have us talk about your project, make sure you tag us, and we will talk about the in progress projects as we see them. I think we've only so far had one person tag us in a Clampcast Clamp Challenge 2024. So feeling like that person, if they actually finish their project, might be the winner. So
Otherwise, I win.
Anything. No, you do not win. The host.
Well, I'm the only one that's completed their progress. I'm the only one that's completed their project.
Well, guess what? I will do it, and I will win. If it comes down to it that no one else is entered by the 30th of April, I'll finish the project. That's for sure, because I want that. I want these prizes.
Yeah, they were pretty good. Well, and all my years of running contests, I have no panic right now about there not being anything submitted, because it comes like the last weekend.
It all comes at the end. We found that out last year.
Yeah. But I really like talking about the in progress stuff, and it's a great way to shout out our listeners. And
even if you're in progress right now, is your idea written on a piece of paper, like drawn on a piece of paper,
or even just like a talking head stories about what you're thinking about. If you talk about the Clamp Challenge 2024 in your stories and you tag us, we will see it. We will hear you. We will talk about you on the podcast. You will reach dozens of people. There are dozens of us. So some of those dozens choose to support us by going to patreon.com/clamp. I want to especially thank the F-Clamp level ones, Scott from Dad It Yourself DIY, Joe Herdina, David Wood from DW Wood Builds, Brad from I'm Gonna Make, and Chad from Chad's Customs Creations. All those people and everyone else who supports us there gets access to the pre-after show, and they also get a numbered keychain made by yours truly. You also get entered into a gnome hammer giveaway for a hammer of the month. And and if you can't support us financially, we completely understand. We appreciate everyone who shares the show. If you want, you can write us a review. And now it's time for CLAMPmendations.
CLAMPmendations!
So, I have done nothing but 3D modeling and Blender, and in the background I'm rewatching Criminal Minds. So, I don't really have a clampmendation for this week, but Criminal Minds.
Yeah.
All right. I like it. So I watched the latest rendition of Roadhouse with
very curious.
It had Colin McGregor and
Connor
McGregor, sorry.
And you for that.
I don't know what any people's names are. I don't like if I don't see people's names in writing. Anyways, and what's that other guy's name?
Oh, shit.
Zach Galifianakis? No. Jake Gyllenhaal? Yeah, Jake Gyllenhaal.
Okay, I don't know how to say
whatever his name is. All I know is I looked at him and I went, I saw him in Donnie Darko a long time ago. And I went, I'm pretty sure I'm like the same age as him. And he's actually older than me. And I went, holy fuck, he looks ripped as shit. Great shape. He's in his 40s. And I'm turning 40 this year. And I went, anyways, I would suggest you watch the movie if you've run out of things to watch, and otherwise, it's a like fun action thing. There's not much the story is the story. It seems like a little bit contrived at points, and you're not quite sure. This doesn't quite make sense. Why would someone have this motivation? But it's got some good fight scenes. It's got some questionable CGI. It's got all the things that a nice 1980s movie... it's definitely... If I were to say this is a 1980s action movie, yeah, I'd be okay with it.
What is the questionable CGI? What was CGI?
There's this... Yeah, there's this... I don't even know. It's got to be CGI because it doesn't look good. But he gets run off a bridge on a truck, and it just doesn't look real. And they're like doing these fancy, like, I hate this fucking thing that they keep doing these like 360 camera views around an action scene. And I'm like, it makes you want to throw up every time they do it. And on top of that, I'm like, it just, if it's not done, because like they do it sometimes where there's an actual camera going while they're doing that fight scene or whatever. But sometimes they do it like an after like CGI bullshit, and it looks like the deer in Walking Dead, which is like my example of the worst CGI in the entire world. So I don't know. Other than, like there was a couple scenes where I just went like, you could have done better, but the budget was probably what the budget was.
Yeah,
right.
Isn't that an Amazon Prime one?
Oh yeah. I think it is an Amazon Prime one.
Because
That's why
I'm pretty
I saw
sure
it.
I've seen it a lot. Yeah.
I also watched Oppenheimer, which was actually really good.
It's so fucking long.
I actually found it. So I put it on and I wanted to continue watching it. Whereas I right now what I'm currently watching is 1,000 Ways to Die in the West, which is what's that guy from Family Guy, Seth MacFarlane. And it's obviously like his humor, and I like his little space show. I can't remember what it's called. I'm not
the one with
Futurama. Is that him?
No.
Okay, all those cartoons look the same.
It's not a cartoon.
It's not a cartoon. It's got Steve Carell in it.
Okay,
the one with Steve Carell.
No.
No. I want to watch. So I am so far behind on YouTube and everything because I've been just focusing on this 3D shoot.
Sorry, the
Orville. I don't know that. I really want to watch Ricky Stenicki, but I just haven't got around to it.
So Oppenheimer, 3 hours or whatever it is, watched every minute of it, couldn't put it away. The 1,000 Ways to Die in the West, couldn't stop looking at my phone. I haven't even finished it. Don't know if I will. And it has like a guy like the Orville. I loved that series. Watched every second of it. Ricky Stenicki or whatever his name is. No, I can't see that guy.
Ricky Stenicki. Like I have no idea. What is?
You haven't noticed Ricky Stenicki?
John Cena in it.
Yeah, it's got John Cena in it.
Yeah, I can't see him. He's invisible.
Right.
I don't know.
You can't see me.
I just don't pay attention to movies unless they're horror or like anything really.
All right, Jessy, what are you recommending? Can we guess?
Yes. So I'm just going to go ahead and recommend Dragon's Dogma 2 this week because I have loved every minute of it. Even when I've gotten murked by like a random Minotaur, it's still been fun. I feel like it's one of those games where you just keep learning and learning and learning. And the more you learn, the more you like it. The combat and sort of the crafting system is very similar to The Witcher 3. So if anybody played that and liked it, I think you'll really like Dragon's Dogma 2. And the story is bonkers, which I always like. Another good thing, which some people I think see as a major downfall, is that you don't have constant like quest markers flying at you. You sort of have to find your own way to do stuff. Which I really like because, you know, that's how a lot of the old like JRPGs were. There weren't people just telling you all the secrets you needed to know. You didn't have a HUD. Like, I like the exploring. And I also like it that the exploring can get a little dangerous because as of now, I have fought and killed a Minotaur and a Cyclops, and I've run away from a Griffin because that thing was going to beat my ass. Yeah, it's just really good. It's super immersive. And anybody who likes JRPGs or The Witcher 3 should absolutely give it a try. And don't listen to any of the bullshit online about people screaming about microtransactions because you don't have to fucking buy anything. It's like not required. And so it's just, I mean, but everybody does it now. But for some reason on this game, everyone lost their goddamn mind. And I was just like, guys, you don't have to buy stuff. You can still do everything in the game without buying anything. Like,
it is very frustrating to me that every game does this now. But I also get there are games that like there's microtransaction for like skins and stuff that like change nothing. I don't care if it is not a like transaction to get more actual game, I don't care.
So, Dragon Dogma or whatever it's called, it's a paid game, right? Like you got to buy it.
Mhm.
Yeah. So I can't stand games that you have to buy and then have microtransactions. I can understand it in games like Fortnite where the game's free. They've got to make their
Yeah.
money somehow. But if I'm buying a game, I want everything that comes with it. I know like expandable DLCs and stuff have always existed,
Mhm.
but microtransactions I
Not
don't agree
always.
with if the game is purchased.
So this is
Yeah,
where
that's fair.
I'll say, if it is only for vanity's sake, I have no problem with it at all for any
Yeah.
game. If it's to like get
If it's
us
pay to win.
if it's pay to win, yeah. If it's like, oh, you can get the best armor, best weapons, yeah,
Yeah,
problematic.
Yeah.
If it is like you can get the coolest looking guy, who the fuck cares?
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah, I mean,
let's go.
for Dragon's Dogma, it's like it is mostly like stuff that you get in the game anyway. It's sort of I bought the deluxe version, so I got those like microtransaction items. It didn't really change anything. I got a fancier tent and I got a little bit of a head start on materials, and that was it. Like,
Oh, cheater, pumpkin eater.
Yeah. Way
Let's
to
fuck
head
pay to
on
that.
win.
over. Let's
Fuck
head on
that.
over to the Ask Us Anything.
Ask us anything. Okay, so the Ask Us Anything question tonight comes from DW Woodbuilds. Why are you raising your hand, Grant?
I want to go before Adam.
Okay. I'm
Start
not even
again.
done saying it. If you could have anyone as a Clamp guest, living or dead, who would it be and why?
So I would definitely pick living, because anyone who is dead is not going to be a very good guest. They do not have much to say. At best, they'll say brains. But in
Bad jokes
reality,
aside,
all jokes aside, if I could have anyone on as a guest, I would want to have Justin Tyler McElroy to talk about. He's from My Brother, and Me, and he's also on The Adventure Zone. But during COVID, he picked up, as a lot of middle-aged white people did, some sort of hobby that involved making, and he chose woodworking. And on his latest video, he opened up a secret bookcase into his wife's office that he made himself. And I went, this isn't like, he's taking it to he's not just like, I like woodworking, and he's cut it, he's made like a couple of boxes with butt joints. No, he made a whole serious thing. So I would like to have Justin Tyler McElroy on. You can only find him on Instagram now, apparently. He's off the Twitters, so
that
I applaud
seems
him for that.
Everyone should be. Shut down your Twitter accounts, y'all. That fucking sucks.
that seems kind of achievable.
Sure it does. Yeah, not like one of the. He's on two of the biggest podcasts in the world that don't involve Joe
So?
Rogan, and yeah, totally achievable. Let's get him on.
Hey,
All right, start
everything's
adding him.
achievable.
You know what? We're gonna tag him in every single post until no.
You're gonna have to do
Response.
that.
I don't know. Like, so we've been asked this question before, I think during like the Ask Us Anything live streams or whatever. And it was who would I like to have on most? And my answer was Bob from I Like to Make Stuff, but we've made that happen.
Right.
So I don't know who was second on my list. Hitler? No, I don't know.
Just to like yell at him, call him an asshole.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
No, I don't know. I don't know.
Like honestly, that would be so like. So there's a Extraordinary as a show on Disney Plus. I think it was a Stars show, and one of the powers of the persons is that they can talk to dead people. And so when they're like, they want to have a laugh, they like make her pull up Hitler, and they just like tell them all the stuff about how, like, gays and Jews and like all these like things that they were against are like all totally doing great now.
Yeah.
Some ways, but in comparison,
Hmm. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know who I would get.
Well, I would not. If Hitler was, I wouldn't want to have Hitler on as a guest if I wasn't going to just rail into him. I'm going to put that out there.
No. I reckon maybe like my high school shop teacher or something. Something like more heartfelt.
Oh, Mr. Brady, my grade 6 teacher. But he's probably dead.
Yeah, I don't know. What about you, Jessy?
So an actual serious answer here. I would really like to have Frida Kahlo on the podcast. She is someone that I've always looked up to, someone who suffered with chronic illness and injury and still did amazing things, someone who did a lot of stuff that women weren't supposed to do and just fucking did it. And I just admire the shit out of her. And I think she would be very interesting to talk to about like how different the gender dynamics in the art scene have changed, in the like 100 years since she's not been in it. Yeah, I think that would be really cool.
You answered my question. I don't know who she is. And you said did a couple of times. So I was going to ask you if she was dead.
Yes, she is dead. But yeah, she was a painter. I dressed up for her as Halloween once. It was great. I had like an amazing unibrow and fantastic flower hair. And it was awesome.
You meant as her?
Hmm?
You said you dressed up for her.
Oh, I said for her? Well, fuck, I don't know. Yes, I dressed up as her.
But it was also for her in case she ever came on as a guest.
Yeah, if she decided to show up, I could be like, twins. Yeah.
Right. Well,
Twinning.
I want to thank TF Turning for the theme song. And if you want to find us, you can go on all the usual social media places that matter and search for Clampcast, and you'll find us there. Or you can find me at The Grant Alexander. You can find Jessy Ratfink at Jessy Ratfink. And you can find Maker Mackie at BKR Builds, Custom Builds.
Got some motorbikes.
Ah, fuck.
So close.
So close.
Hey, you got the
Till next time.
BKR.
Yeah, well, you keep changing what you do, so it's really hard. You can find him at the Garage Woodworker.
Not this year. No.
I still got the Garage Woodworker on my thing. I got it. It's there. That's how I met you. I'm dead naming you. I'm sorry. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Bye.